So I prefaced in one of my other videos that I had some medical things that were happening, and I feel like I need to address them. So, and this is hard for me to say in front of a camera, but I was born with a specific type of congenital birth defect called Pierre-Robin sequence. Now, if any of you know what that is, uh, thank you. I appreciate that. But for those who don't know what that is, Pierre-Robin sequence is classified as a condition where a person is born with a cleft palate, a smaller or reduced soft palate, uh, or a non-existent soft palate in some cases, and uh, a large and very noticeable uh, condition called micrognathia, which is a small jaw. And the reason that I'm talking about this is I think it's very important to highlight that even though my anatomy is different in my head and neck, I am still a completely normally functioning human being. Or, well, normal. We're all unique in our own way. We all have our quirks. But the thing that I wanted to talk about is how it has affected me as a musician and me just in my life. I have been belittled, bullied, put down, harassed, annoyed, and I wouldn't really say discriminated, but yeah, kind of uh, been seen as less of as not the person that I am, but how I sound and what my facial shape looks like. And that has happened to me not not large, but also a not tiny amount of times. It's happened enough times to where it has affected me in in potentially negative ways, and I acknowledge that, and that is something that we as humans need to be more accepting of. That everyone is different, everyone is beautiful, everyone is unique in their own way, and I stand with the people that are. I stand with you if you need to speak to someone or if you are in a not good mental state, please seek help. That's just what I'm going to say. Please utilize resources. You have resources. You are not alone. I just want to say that right now. Personally, right now, I am not depressed. I'm in a very good mental state. Recording this video, I'm doing this on my own accord. But I wanted to bring to light that have a I am different than most people in regards to how the anatomy of my head works. My brain function is typical, I will also say that I'm neurodivergent, so I do have ADHD. I have been diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is a complete misnomer because it's not really because for me I find it a misnomer. For people who do have the side or the part or the type of ADHD where it affects behavior in a negative way to give a person a lot of energy, that is the hyperactivity part. I have the hyperattentivity or hyperinattentivity. Uh, I have the attention deficit, and I have the hyperfixation of ADHD, which is common with disorders of that nature. And I'm going to leave that at that. But I didn't really want to touch on that today. That could be for a different video if you want to ask me about it in the comments or something. I'll respond in the comments because I will, because I'm that person. Uh, I respond to emails. If I get an email, I will respond to it. Unless it's at like some ridiculous hour or I'm just it's just not necessary to respond. I will respond to it. But regarding my facial anatomy and my uh maxillofacial structure, I was born with a cleft palate. I was born with a hole in the roof of my mouth, which is something wild to think about for people that have not directly experienced that. And that has that has not really defined my life, but that is mainly who I am. I identify as a person who has overcome their Kira band sequence. There are still things that I struggle with, mainly playing a wind instrument. It's hard for me, for multiple reasons that I'll touch on in a bit. But I am no longer, I no longer have the defining characteristics or the more defining characteristics of PRS, which are the small jaw and the cleft palate. And that is partially down to the truly, truly, and I'm saying this in complete gratitude, remarkable work that has been done in facial plastic surgery over the course of my life and over the course of human history. And I think that of all of the medical interventions that I've had, which are a lot, um, though, and I'm not trying to say that I've had more than other people. I'm just stating that that is the case. I've had a lot of surgeries, but the good thing and the positive thing about the positive thing that I've taken away from this is that as of right now, I do not need any more medical intervention to any surgical intervention to correct anything or uh any non what's the word for it? Any elective procedure to repair or fix anything, which I think is positive. I do need to have other uh, medical things done. I obviously, as soon as I reach the age that screening requirements start, which this is a reminder, if you are watching this video and you are of that age group, please get screened for please get please get medically screened if you are of the demographic that needs to be screened for whatever. If you need to be screened for specific uh cancers, do that. Please do that. It is truly life saving and it has saved countless lives. If you need to get a new prescription for your glasses, get another prescription for your glasses. It's not healthy for your vision to keep wear the same pair of glasses for 20 years on end, unless you know that your prescription hasn't changed, which it does. As humans get older, our eyes get progressively worse. That's just how vision works. But I don't need anything else done to my nasopharyngeal passageways or my or this area of my head really surgically at all. I need probably one more prosthesis made just so that I can play the euphonium, and that's it. I need to get my braces off because obviously then that's grill, and but really that's it. And I'm really happy about that because I don't like thinking about the next surgery that I need to have. It's just not a pleasant thought for me. And first of all, if any of the physicians who know me are watching this video, thank you. I just want to say thank you to all of the doctors, nurses, lab techs, radiology techs, uh, charge nurses, scrub nurses, surgeons, scheduling, uh, the uh, executive assistants, anybody who has done anything in the medical field to help me, I thank you. I don't know who you are. I know who some of you are. I'm not going to say any of your names out loud, but you know who you are, and I genuinely, genuinely appreciate you. I do. And the reason that I'm saying that is I work in healthcare. I know how hard your jobs are. I I know how hard it is to work in an environment that is stressful, that is long hours, that is uncomfortable at times. That can be you can have really, really, really good days, or you can have really, really, really bad days. It is just a part of life, and it's a part of being an essential worker in a healthcare sense. And obviously, the reason I'm talking about this is to shed light on myself and to bring more attention uh to the community of uh people who have been born with craniofacial and oral maxillofacial uh 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 differences using or um not really known as disabilities, uh but uh but not the what is considered, I'm not I shouldn't really say normal, but what is considered more common, because no person is normal. We're all we're all unique. We all have our quirks. We all have things that we can work on. We all have things that we're really good at. It's just part of being a collective species. And obviously, I can't speak for everyone because I'm not everyone, and I don't know what experiences other people have had. But I just want everyone to know that you don't let if you find this video and you're thinking, oh, my life is, or you're having trouble with really anything, or you think that you're having a hard time, or that you're miserable, or that you're unhappy about something, or that you're making a lot of mistakes, or that you're a quote unquote failure, you're not. There are genuinely people in this world, and I'm speaking indirectly to anybody, but there for everybody in the on the planet, there are people who care about you, whether it be a family member, a friend, a coach, uh, who care about you as a person. I should preface that so that it doesn't sound weird. But there are people who, for everyone on this planet, there are people who care about you as a person and want you to be successful and to be happy. And by and if you're thinking that you're making a lot of mistakes and that your mistakes are the end of the world, they're not. They're really not. A person should not be defined by their mistakes. They should be defined by who they are as a person and what they and they should be defined. A person should be defined as who they are. Just or a person should be appreciated for who they are and not what they have trouble with or are have a more difficult time doing. A person should be loved and respected for who they are as a person, as a human being, as a being in general. We are all one species. We are all humans. We may not we may not be the same in appearance. Have we may love other people that so we we may have different opinions. We may have different wants. We all have different needs. But we all need companionship. We all need social interaction. We all need love. We all need support. And no matter who you love, what, no matter what you believe, no matter what deity you, no matter what religion you practice, no matter where you live, no matter what you look like or uh, the sound of your voice or your or a person's mannerisms, they're a person. They're still a person. You shouldn't just dehumanize somebody just because they are not the same as you are, or something they're doing is making you uncomfortable. Even if what they're doing is completely normal for them, it shouldn't, it is not, if something that someone is doing is making you uncomfortable and it is within reason to make you uncomfortable, you can and should chat with them about it. But doing that just to belittle or uh, alienate or otherize another member of the another member of our collective species is just not okay. And I know this is a complete ramble and pretty much a rant, but treat others the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. And I'm not trying to get religious or anything, but just be a good person. Be a good human being. Use common sense. Treat people with dignity. Treat people with respect. Treat people with kindness. Follow the. I'm a Boy Scout. And the 12 points of the Scout Law are things that I try to live on a daily basis. They are trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Now, the last one I am not going to get into because that's a whole other topic. And if any of the viewers of this video want to hear me talk about my beliefs in that way, please comment. But until that happens, I'm not going to do that. But I think that the entire idea of treating people with respect and treating them as a person foremost is the best way to be seen as the nicest person in the room. Or not the nicest person in the room, but definitely the one that everyone else can count on. You want to be trustworthy. Your friends want to be able to trust you and be able to give information to you and not have you say that to people that they might not want sharing that information. Loyal. You need to stick up for people when something isn't right. You need to stick up for others. You need to be loyal to a fan base, loyal to a music group, to a uh, belief system, to a party. I'm not going to say which. Also, if you want to hear me rant about certain things, I will gladly do that, only with a comment. Uh, and also, if you want to see that, please like this video. But I genuinely think that there's something to be said for how far that I have come in the grand scheme of this. It's hard, and I I keep having my hand, and you see the swords thing. This is actually my secret weapon. Well, secret weapon might not be the right word, but this is a hack I learned, and I'm not saying that anyone should try this. I'm not saying that I'm not endorsing anything. I'm not saying that, but this is something that worked for me. This is a swimming nose clip, and when I play the euphonium, it air comes out my nose, which is a bit of a problem because humans have a finite lung capacity, and if air is coming this way, it can't come this way to create sound and beautiful music. So I do that. And up until recently, or up until I got my braces, I didn't need to do that because I wore a speech bulb, which, if you don't know, is essentially just essentially think of a retainer like a mouth guard, but it sits on the top of the hard palate and has a little uh, molded uh, shape. It's called a speech bulb obturator. It has a molded shape that fits into the excuse me in the pharynx and into the nasopharyngeal flap, and it prevents air from being redirected out the nose, which is amazing. I'm so glad they were created, and they weren't even created for playing musical instruments. That's just an added bonus to playing a musical instrument that requires air to operate. Which obviously that doesn't need to. We don't need one with a pipe organ or with a pedal organ or you might not need them with bagpipes. Bagpipes are very complicated. I don't play bagpipes. Any pipers down can comment about that, but it prevents air from going down my nose. And there are several downsides to these. First of all, they break after a lot of use, and I mean these are things that I use not infrequently. They are vital. I have three clipped to my horn at all times my because I have very, very, very bad object permanence, and if I don't see something or see something before I go on to something else, and I am thinking about that thing in the moment, I will forget about it. That's just how my brain works. It it's very difficult to explain, but it's just I just have to have nose clips on my I just have nose clips on my horn for when I play, which hasn't been recently because I had surgery a month ago. So, and I was also going to talk about that, but I had another jaw distraction, and essentially with a jaw distraction, and I'm not expecting anyone who watches this video to immediately know what that is. I'm not expecting that. If you know what that is, if you know what that is, okay. If you don't know what that is, that's also okay. I really don't mind that people don't know what that is. But essentially, a jaw distraction is where there's really two types. There's a mandibular osteogenesis and distraction, and there's a mandibular osteotomy. The first type, the MBO, is where, and that's usually done on an infant, and the mandibular osteotomy, or the mandibular distraction osteogenesis, is essentially where an incision is made through the sides of the neck, up into the jaw, the skin is retracted, and then they cut into the jaw, place pins, stitch it back, place pins and the little turning screws, stitch it back up, and then those screws are used for moving the lower jaw. Usually done in infants, and up until probably about 18, 19 years ago, it was only done in adults. And there are several issues with that. One being if there are certain things that are not done, if there are certain things that are not done early in a patient's life, it's going to affect everything. It's going to affect speech, it's going to affect eating, breathing, sleeping, drinking, anything out of a straw or a cup. But it's also going to affect appearance a lot because with a with micrognathia, the jaw is very small. It's think of an overbite, but think of a very, very, very pronounced overbite. It is upper jaw is here. Hold on, wait, how am I gonna do this? Upper jaw is here, lower jaw is like here, or like there. It is a very pronounced. It's a very pronounced overbite, and it's hard to do a lot of things with that differing anatomy in the human body. It's just that's just how it works. And that and then there's the other type, which is a mandibular osteotomy, um which I had 5 weeks ago today. And I'm not going to go into too many details, but let's just say the recovery wasn't fun. It was a liquid diet for a week, and then it was a soft diet for three. And I'm back to eating normally, which I'm happy about. But the mandibular osteotomy is essentially the mandibular distraction osteogenesis, but everything is internal. All the incisions are made through the mouth. Nothing, no external hardware. All the sutures are in the mouth, so there's nothing that's visible, and that's great. They hold everything in place with titanium plates and screws. They do that right after they cut it into the jaw and move it forward. They do the procedure. They get it over and done with. It takes a bit of time because it's rather complicated, but it's a necessary procedure. A it is not a procedure that really anymore is considered an elective procedure. It can be done electively. As a person who knows all too well the life of a per what the what a human what life is like with Pierre Van sequence is just not really what just, just have it done. Talk to a just you will you will know if your child has Pierre. It is very easy to diagnose. It is one of it is cleft palate, micronathia, and I mean those are the two primary things. Cleft palate and micronathia can be caused by other things. I'm not trying to say that they're not, but if a baby is born with a specific presentation of symptoms that signals that they have Pierre sequence, please have it treated. They will have such a better outcome. They'll have such a better quality of life if that is treated. And I mean, yeah, that's just science. Just trust in the medicine. And please, if you or someone you know is having difficulties with anything related to medicine, please seek somebody out. Please get your flu shot. Please get vaccinated. I'm genuinely saying this. Please. The pandemic was horrible for so many people. It was very bad for mental health, very bad for emotional health. It was a difficult time for so many people, but luckily I was not one of the people that it affected the most. I know people that it affected more than I did, more than it affected my family and I. And those people, I don't know what they've gone through, and I can't know, and I can try to understand what they've gone through, but I can't really know what they've gone through to have a have a global pandemic affect their lives in a profound, tragic, or financial manner is just not something that I've not experienced. Thank, luckily, knock on wood. And I'm not trying to diminish any of the things that those people that people that I know have gone through, that people who have been affected that by the pand the by the COVID pandemic. I'm not trying to diminish what they've gone through. I'm not trying to diminish their experiences. It is it is hard to have something like that happen. It is very hard. I understand that. And I want to say, if you have watched this video all the way, thank you for sticking with my rant. It is, I didn't really talk much about my facial structure or how it affects me, but I've been given a hard time. I've been bullied. I've been made fun of. People have said, um, speak, people have told me to speak, quote unquote, speak normally, or, uh, or someone said, uh, why don't you talk normally, or why do you sound nasally? And if someone is genuinely being sincere about asking why I sound nasally when I speak, I will gladly explain that to them. I really like explaining to people how I am unique. That is just me. That is part of my personal being. But the people who have been rude to me in the past, I just want to say right now, I forgive you. Because it's also hard when you're in a group of people when you don't really have the same dietary uh the same dietary preferences as everyone else in the group, which is also hard and difficult, and uh the subject and often the subject of certain remarks or quips or people trying to be funny. I just want to say, making fun of a person's diet isn't funny, or making fun of the way a person chooses of what a person chooses to eat is not funny. It's incredibly insensitive, and but for the people that have done that in the past, I forgive you. It's usually a lack of it's usually a lack of insight or a lack of knowledge about the specific diet or about the specific preference or about cert or about the person's beliefs. But that is why education on both who that is why I choose to make videos. I choose to make videos to educate people. And that's why I like doing it. So thank you for watching. If you stuck with me this far, uh please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share. Share with your friends, share with your enemies. I really don't It really doesn't matter who you share this with. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.